Welcome back everyone to more career mode gameplay of SRX, the game. And in today's video, we're headed to I-19. And I chose this racetrack because, well, it's a quarter mile and it's got a little bit of banking. So it's listed at mid banking, which means that things could get pretty interesting at this track. And we've raced at some shorter tracks in the recent past and things have gotten pretty fun, actually. There's more contact, there's a lot of beating and banging, but it makes for a very interesting main event. And you can see the main event here would be 40 laps, and that is a long time around a very short track with all that contact. So right now we're sitting in first position overall in the points, and I want to take you over really quickly to the schedule because I've actually simulated a couple of races with our hired driver, and she did extremely well. She finished third in one race, eighth in another, so very good indeed. Point standings, we are sitting with about a 40-point lead right now over Ty Morgan in second. So I am very happy with the way things are going. I plan on continuing with this sort of alternating of me running a race, maybe her running a few races, because I really want to try to level her up. Right now, I believe she's either at a D+ or a C- without going to check. So she's definitely not maxed out or anywhere close to that, and she's already doing very well. So things are going well on that front. You can see I've already done all the repairs to the car. Took care of those actually after the last race that our driver Kendra was in. So everything seems to be all set. Let's head to the track. Practice and qualifying in the books, and this is another one of those tracks that is just begging me to spend some more time in practice, working on the setup, driving style, and so on, because there is so much more speed to be had here. But once again, keeping with the spirit of our career mode series, I ran, I believe, 2 laps in practice, made a couple of adjustments to the setup, went into qualifying. Was not happy with those setup adjustments at all, even though it's really hard to tell from the qualifying time, because we're basically right at a 10 flat, which is at the goal time as well. But there is at least 3 or 4 more tenths here to be found. Hopefully we can get some more experience here in the heat race and be ready for the main. All right, top 5 advance to the A main, but of course what we would really like is to be in that top 2 so we can go to the qualifying dash, because for one reason I'd really like to have some more laps around this place. Really like the paint scheme on that 44 right there in front of us. I like that a lot. Not that I'm biased anything for that or anything for that color, but all right. So basically, what I did for this race, ooh, that was a terrible entry, is I put the adjustment back that I made for qualifying. Really want to see how this thing handles and if I can figure out exactly where I need to be on and off the gas, brakes, and all that kind of stuff. I'm pretty hard on the limiter there. Well, right now, I'm able to keep pace with third and pretty much second position as well, but I can't really go anywhere. There we go. Let's throw this thing sideways and see if we can't make up a little bit. But again, this is all in just driving style and your different steering and throttle points around the track. There's so much you can do to change the handling of these cars and never touch the setup. So, something to keep in mind. Of course, right now, third position would get us in to the main event, but that's not really the biggest issue, because the biggest issue will be that we'll be starting fairly far back in the main event, but third place gets us in. We'll move on from here. Here we go, folks, the A main. I did make one quick adjustment just to try to open up the entry a little bit and try to free the car to turn a little bit. Took a little bit of right rear stagger out of the car. So starting 9th, let's see if we can't move up through this field a little bit and gain at least a few positions right here for the first few laps. It's not that the car is handling bad, but remember, if we're going to contend for podiums and victories and all that, then it's going to have to be a lot better than just okay. Once again, I'm sticking pretty close to the inside lane, mostly because I'm not taking any time to look in the mirror, so I really have no idea if we're being pressured or not. So for the most part, I'm sticking pretty low. Every once in a while, if I think I've got an opportunity to pick up some speed, I will let the car drift out. And boy, look at the traffic in front of us. So we're here on lap 7 of 40. We're in third, so we're in good shape right now. Have no idea where the leader is. Second place is right there in front of us, so we'll try to follow them through. This is a complete mess in front of us, and I love it. Let's see if we can survive this thing and get through here unscathed. A big part of the fun of these races is not just trying to pass for position, but trying to figure out how to get through all of this traffic. And that's where this setup that I'm using, which nothing really special about it, that's where it really excels because it's very nice and stable. Alright, I did see the lap time flash up there briefly. I didn't even pay attention to it, I just know it was there. Alright, we're in second position. I had him earlier, now I've lost him. Alright, these guys in front of us, a lot of contact. I'm just looking for somebody to spin out, because that's what's generally been happening in these races, that somebody in front of us gets turned around. Alright, so far I have not seen any other lead lap cars. I don't know if that's good or bad. Hopefully in a few moments I'll have an opportunity to actually look up there and take a look at where we are. See if we've made up any positions or lost a position or who knows what. Alright, here we go. 22 laps to go, and oh, we're in first. Okay, well, I'm certainly okay with that. Don't know when that happened, but I'm going to guess it was in that huge mess of cars that looks a lot like what's in front of us right now. I recognize that number 44 that we were just going by. A little surprised to see him all the way back here in 14th. That was definitely not a good corner. So you can use the flat part at the bottom right here like I'm doing now. Helps the car to rotate if you're having any issues with getting the car to turn, particularly in the center. Depending on how you've got the car set up and how you're driving it, it can really help out with that. But as you might imagine, if your car is already turning just fine, then it can actually get you really loose. Right here, more than anything, I'm using it as a passing lane. As long as you're not hard on the throttle too much, it's usually not too bad in how it disrupts the car should you find yourself loose. So that's the good thing. If you'll just play with the throttle a little bit as you go through there, then it shouldn't be too bad. Alright, so there's 8th position. One of the few cars that I've actually realized their position as we're going by, because most of the time I'm a little busy to be focused on that, but I just happened to catch that one out of the corner of my eye. So we got 19th in front of us. Alright, somebody's trying to pass us. I am going to assume that is for position. I have no idea if it is or not, but that's generally what I do, is just assume that it's for position. Ouch. Somebody really wanted to get to our inside there. and it looks like there's basically one big crowd of cars, and every so many laps we come up on them and have to work ourselves through them again. All right, what lap are we on? 7 laps to go. Okay, I'll take that. Ouch. That was more contact. That was my fault. All right, the gearing seems to be working out pretty good. I haven't really seen it hit the rev limiter very much during this race, and that's mostly because we're not exactly running fast laps here. Whoever that was wanted to give me no room down there, but we're just going to have to make some of our own room. All right, how many laps to go? It should be like 2 or 3 or something at this point. But once again, I have to admit, I would be fine running another 40 laps at this place. This is a lot of fun. If you hear me sort of hit the gas and goose it a little bit in the middle of the corner or just before the middle of the corner, that's me trying to get the car to rotate, setting it on the right rear, which is more of a timing mechanism for me than anything. So, we come out with the victory, and I still don't remember when I passed second and first position as we were coming through, but you can see there we were about 5 seconds ahead at the end of the race, and 7 cars left on the lead lap. Okay, so that is another race victory, which means that our lead over second place in the overall season standings should have increased, because if you look, I don't remember exactly who was in second, but it's either Ty Morgan, who finished 5th, or Eddie Wright, who finished 3rd. So we didn't get a huge amount of points on those guys, but hey, every race victory is another trophy, and that is always fun. All right, so the A main results. Let's move on now, see what kind of money we're getting for today. All right, so first place, we get, let's see, so Eddie Wright, if he was in second, we picked up 9 points on him. And then, of course, Ty Morgan's going to be even more than that. So that's nearly, what is that, 15, 16 points for Ty Morgan if he was in second. So I like this. We're progressing. And what this really does as we move forward is it gives me an opportunity to run our hired driver more and more to get her better and better and closer to an A-level driver, without having to worry about really tanking in the points. So everything so far this season is coming up great. Absolutely loving this season. So let's go ahead and continue on, see about our race winnings. $15,500 plus our sponsor and merch payouts, $26,267. A very successful event and a very fun event here at I-19. That's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and stick around for more SRX, the game.